This is not the first job of the day, but it's probably a new video. I don't know. Depends on how I break it up. Anyways, James and I are about to knock this one out. It's just a bare bones, like I said, budget clean. Like I said, I haven't told you anything yet. It's like a budget cleanup. It's just one of those properties. It's not a high polish. It's just get it cleaned up, down and dirty, make it look good. You know, it is what it is. So we went and we gassed up. Now when we gassed up, we put gas in our big can, and then our mix can was about empty. So we filled up all the blowers, emptied it out, and went ahead and made ourselves a fresh mix, and that way we're ready to go. What I do is I always use straight gas in a big can. My little can's always mixed gas. I always point these backwards to try to prevent leaves and debris blowing into it when I'm driving down the road. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the job. It's pretty basic, pretty easy. Here's what we're gonna do on this job to make it efficient. So in the front, we're gonna blow everything out, and we've got a mounted up spot in here where it dips down. I can't take the mower over that, so we're gonna get that out past that. There's a stump there, everything's gonna be out past that. This here, that dips down, that's gotta get out there. So we want everything in the front yard to be in this section. All right, now here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blow through the fence and get all that into the yard, and then I'm actually gonna go in the neighbor's yard because they just have a real good cleanup here, and I don't want to dust out their yard with a bunch of leaves. I'm gonna go through their fence and blow it all this way. Okay, already talked to the guy, he's cool with that. Now we got to get everything behind the shed out into this turf area. The main area is right here, over. If it's in that area here, then we're good. Up against the tree lines and stuff, we clean it out decent, but it's not like a pristine cleanup. Okay, so that's what we're doing on this one. We're gonna go ahead and get started, and hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you want to see something else. I'll gladly make a video of it.
This whole book tells you how to get rich. Alright, so on this nice intro there, James. On this lawn here, we're blowing the leaves out so we can mulch them up. We're just going to do a little bit in the front, and then we're going to come back. So I already explained what I'm doing here with the fence. That's a good way to get them away from the fence without dealing with trying to walk down the fence line. If you can get the neighbor's yard, some people won't let you in. Some people have locks. You never know. I mean, people are real weird about that stuff. But they always complain if you get a few leaves in their backyard, and then they want you to clean them up. I've had some real weirdos. I don't want to say weirdos, but I mean, I understand it. But yards that are just completely trashed out with leaves, hadn't been cleaned up, and you know they don't have any good grass, and it's like February. All the crazies come out in February. They've been cooped up in their house all winter, and you come along and clean up their neighbor's yard, and theirs is still trashed out, and then they get real frustrated and want you to do theirs for free. So when you get like 3 or 4 leaves that blow through their chain link, that's when you find out who's a crazy neighbor. As far as this yard goes, it's super easy. There's no leaves hauled off. It's just mulching it up. It's almost a shame because the neighbor's lawn, I look at it all the time when I'm mowing this one. I'm like, that one's beautiful. And then I'm like, but this one's easy. So, you know, you got to weigh it out. I'm sure that other yard's easy too, but it's a high maintenance lawn. That's something that you'll do. You'll look at the neighbor's yards when you got like a scuzzy one. Just remember, just because it's an ugly lawn doesn't mean you don't make good money on it. So like this lawn, it's a decent size. I mow this lawn for $50. Takes me 15 minutes. I'm in and out. So I'm gonna be honest with it. Like, I'm an equal opportunity kind of dude. When it's an ugly lawn, that just doesn't faze me a bit. I don't like crabgrass though. But seriously, when it comes down to mowing lawns, you know, it doesn't really matter what it looks like to me. Obviously, the nice ones are more enjoyable to mow. I don't really like mowing weeds, but you know, it's one of those things that earlier in the year, it's kind of nice to have some lawns that have weeds because you get some early cuts going. You know, so like this one, I'll get henbit and some other weeds that are growing, some cool season weeds. And you know, I'm not against mowing a yard with weeds. I don't do any chemical treatment. It's just not my thing. And I really don't care on how the turf looks as long as it's weekly and I can cut it, and they pay the price that I need to pay it, and it takes a certain amount of time, and it doesn't go over that. And you know, I mean, as long as I'm meeting what I need to on my end, I could care less whether they have it sprayed or not, because they're having me mow, and that's the service that I'm selling. So it's just one of those things. Sometimes you look over at the yard next door and you're like, wow, it's beautiful, I wish I could do that. And you know, then when you finally get them, because I've had the scenario where I finally get them, I'm like, man, I kind of wish I didn't have it. Not always, but sometimes the ugly lawns make you more money. Hey!
Mommy, there's no plane up in the sky.
Drop that song down in the comments if you know what it is. So, on this cleanup, it took 2.5 man hours. So, it was a real quick job with all 3 of us there. That doesn't mean we were there for 2.5 hours, as I've kind of explained in the other videos, but it was 2.5 man hours, and we built it at 170. So that breaks down to us being there for just under an hour altogether. So, you know, not bad at all. You can fit a lot of those in a day and generate quite a bit of revenue for the company. I'm a big believer on employees. I have gone through several stages where, you know, I've been in the point where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go in on employees, and then I'm like, nah, I'm gonna do them solo because I've had employees and they're a pain and this and that. The fact is, it comes down to my training and not training them properly, not having a good hiring process, not being a good lead and a good manager, and I have to accept the responsibility for that. That is what it is. It's my fault. And once you accept the responsibility for everything in your company, it starts looking a whole lot easier for the future. Chainsaw guys are in effect out here getting the firewood dudes. Look at the mulch, man. Mulch piles, that's all leaf debris and stuff. They got a big pile back there, massive pile behind this one. Alright, everybody's been wanting to see this for a while. Dumping the truck is no fun. It's part of the job, but it's no fun. At our facility, we are not allowed to hook up a rope to a pallet or a chain to a pallet or anything of that nature and actually pull it out. It's a liability, and it's just not allowed. So, you know, I know that there's really cool things there. I thought about the hand crank thing, but you know, it gets wet and it's a lot of leaves. I also have bed liner in the back of my truck, so I think it would catch, and I just don't think that would be efficient. Now, what would be efficient is if I were able to roll this tarp back and actually climb up above it and get all the way in the back and then blow it out. I need to fix that, but I'm gonna be honest, I just haven't been doing it. Put it off. Anyways, at this point the season's almost over, so I'm just like, yeah, whatever. The box was only temporary. I'd like to have a flatbed on my setup in the future, like I did in the past, with doors on the side, because that's very easy for dumping the truck. And I never take my trailer off. Won't do it. Refuse to do it. If you guys haven't seen the video, my truck was actually stolen about 3 weeks after I bought this. So theft is a big deal in Tulsa. I don't know. I've got some buddies that have been hit. I've been hit multiple times. And you know, like I've had people bash me for this online, because on Facebook groups I said, you know, I bought a red trailer because, you know, because of theft. Because I've had thousands of dollars in blowers and weed eaters and stuff like that stolen over the years. And so when I bought my trailer, I actually bought a red trailer because, in my opinion, between a red trailer and a black trailer, if I was a thief, I would steal the black trailer first, because there's a lot of black trailers, but I don't see a whole lot of red ones on the road, so it'd be easier to spot. So my hopes is that if somebody were to steal my trailer, they would go on to the one down the road. Now, I hope nobody gets their trailer stolen, but the reality is things like that happen. It's unfortunate, but it happens. Boy, I got off subject of dumping, but you know, it's not too bad. You just get in and you knock it out. So it's pretty quick. This took about 15 minutes, I believe. So we were in and out. Sometimes when it's wet, it takes longer, but yeah, it's not too bad. It is very dusty. You have to wear a respirator for sure.